Well, hello guys. I told you yesterday that markets were really on thin ice. I'm going to start with Bitcoin because that's a major driving theme this morning. It is just imploding. So you got to be very careful for your semiconductor stocks that were getting pumped up because people were mining Bitcoin. So your Nvidia, your AMD, and your Micron could all take some serious nosebleeds today. So ever since the inception of this Bitcoin future, and it has just continued to sell off, and now it's accelerating. So very dangerous situation for those Bitcoin traders. Okay, another thing that I'm looking at, my last intraday time frame was the 4-hour chart. And as of today, we have we are gapping away from the 4-hour cloud this morning. This is a definite profile change. Now we can rally back up, of course, but we are officially heading into a more bearish tone in the markets here. So I do not believe the scenario that dips are buyable is in play right now. They're going to sell this off for several days now or weeks. So be very careful on the long side. And this is the Dow Jones. It was down over 300 points just a little while ago. So, and I have no reason to think that it's not going to stay at continue to since we have a profile change. I have every reason to think that we're going to fade even lower today. So, but we'll see what happens on that. Now, I don't want to throw in the towel yet because it's going to take volume to push the markets much lower. Because if you can tell on our monthly volume profile, prices have been accepted on this bell curve from basically 25,864. That's where our low was this morning, higher. So we may have a low in the markets this morning because you can just go by our bell curve and tell that responsive buyers stepped up and come in and defend it. But if that's not the case, the next area of support would be 25,676. And so you're looking at about negative 400 on the Dow. If that's the case, and probably close to a negative 500, 450 on the Dow if we break any lower than this morning's lows already. So just keep that in mind, okay? Okay, this is my next intraday chart on the ES. So officially, our daily charts are broken on the S&P 500 too. So keep that in mind. And I want to point out something significant, different on the S&P daily. Now here's what I want to point out here: the elongated profile. This is a dangerous little situation here, because instead of having a typical bell curve, we basically got 3 distributions all on a monthly chart. And it's not nearly as supportive as what you would otherwise like to think. So just keep this in mind. Right now we broke our moving average there. And so our support now is 27.7332 would be our next support. And even in the overnight session, that's quite a ways down further before we have some real support on this market. Now we do have a volume point of control right here, so I mean I'm not counting that one out. But in the absence of having a really good bell curve, I'm thinking the lagging or the support line on the Ichimoku is actually more of a solid support in this situation. Now I don't have the TF on the Russell. Toss doesn't offer it anymore, but we do have an official breakaway gap away from our cloud on our IWM2. So keep that one in mind. Now, right now IWM is at a breakout level. It's trying to hold. So just keep this one in mind, your Russell. We're right here at a breakout level to all-time new highs, and we're back testing it right now. We've got all kinds of volume up here, So this actually could be a bounce point for your Russell. So if the markets do hold right here, this is probably a pretty good opportunity to the long side on the Russell. Just a heads up if you are bullish on the market. Keep an eye on your bonds. We went over 3% yesterday on our bonds, and it imploded after hours. So keep that in mind. Interest rates are rising this morning, and on a dramatic sell-off, and that's putting a lot of pressure on these markets on these interest rate rises. So we could probably even see the 10-year over 3% today if this holds. When the bonds decided to tank it last night, we actually had a pretty good uptick in gold. It's selling off a bit this morning, so just keep an eye on your gold. It looks a little bit down since the close, though, right now. But there could be some responsive buying in the gold today. And the last area I want to talk about, and that's the energy sector. We were seeing a nice responsive bounce on the XLE off the 30S EMA yesterday. So keep in mind, you have Chevron and you have ExxonMobil reporting today, and both of them are going to see significant upside potential from the tax reform, especially Chevron. I mean, they have major, they spend a lot of money keeping their companies going, and that tax reform is really going to help their bottom line. So we could see some responsive buying into the energy space today. Okay, just keep this one in mind there. Crude's holding out real good. It's above the what we would deem the volume point of control. So that's a very good sign for the bullish side for the crude. It seems to be holding on pretty good despite the market sell-off. I did take a long swing position in Schlumberger yesterday on this idea that the energy stocks are going to see a significant bid. And I know the markets look really bad right now, but I do think we have a nice low volume area right here, right above Schlumberger at this price level. So we could see a rapid appreciation in Schlumberger to the next volume talk if we start seeing responsive buying in our ExxonMobils and our Chevrons and our energy space in general. So keep that in mind. There was a lot of call buying in the energy space yesterday afternoon. Okay, so that's just some ideas I had. Markets don't tend just to fall straight down. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. But we do. This is the first day of a significant intraday profile changes on a lot of these charts, index charts. So just keep that in mind. That a lot of the momentum traders are going to be shut down today. So be careful with your trading and good luck. And you can follow me on TradingView. I post a lot of charts over there too. Thank you.